My message to the losers? Losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should. Sorry. Well, that's my feeling.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma.
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Renowned comedian and writer Bill Maher has been calling out The View since they first started spouting nonsense, and he hasn't let up. In his latest show, he dropped a truth bomb that left them absolutely fuming. Before we jump into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Maher isn't afraid to speak his mind and stand by his beliefs, much like The View. But the difference? They might want to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
About the whole show, the winners, the losers. My message to the losers? Losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should. Sorry. Well, that's my feeling. Losers, look in the mirror, okay? For months, Democrats have been saying, how is this even close? And they're right, it wasn't. They could not conceive of a second Trump term, but they should have. When does America ever turn down second? I mean, come on.
Upon hearing this, the hosts of The View shifted uncomfortably in their seats. That's when they started scrambling for dirt on Bill Maher, but their attacks fell flat. Unshaken, Maher fired back with his signature sharp humor, shutting them down effortlessly. Just watch how he responded when The View questioned how Trump would accomplish his promises, given the millions of immigrants in the country.
To do now, they won. Now they have reality they have to deal with. We'll see what they do. See if they live up to their word. Trump says he's going to deport 12 million people. How are you going to get 12 million people back into Mexico? And today Trump said, I'm way ahead of you. Why do you think I left so many holes in the wall?
With overwhelmingly conservative support in the comments, many praised Bill Maher for his optimism and unwavering stance. Frustrated with the Democrats, he took direct shots at other late-night hosts, mocking their empty threats to leave the country, only to find the Mexico border closed. But that was just the beginning. Maher went even further, calling out The View and other left-leaning media for their failure to take accountability on a major issue.
I saw Kamala was on Saturday Night Live, as the losing candidate often is. It worked so well for Hillary. Let's run that back. And it just made me think, I'm sure every single member of the Saturday Night Live cast was a Harris supporter. But what if one of them wasn't? What if one of those cast members was for Trump? Would they have felt comfortable saying so? I really don't think so. They would have had to keep it to themselves. That's not a good place for us to be. I remember when, and that happens even more on the left. And I remember when Elon Musk hosted, and this is well before he was a Trumper. This is 3 or 4 years. He was just the richest man in the world. And a number of the cast members on Saturday Night Live, they didn't want to deal with him. They didn't exactly boycott, but they made it plain. And I was thinking, really? You have Elon Musk on your show for a week. You could talk to one of the most interesting, brilliant people the world has ever produced, even about this issue that bothers you so much, that he's so rich and lots of people aren't. But no, you don't want to even deal with him. That's what I hate about the left. You're brats. You're brats and you're snobs, and people don't like that.
That's the propaganda they pushed. And if you need proof, just watch how The View's co-hosts fell completely silent after Bill Maher shared his opinion live on air. Remember, it was Sunny who originally brought up the issue, but Maher's sharp rebuttal flipped the argument right back on her. The moment was so shocking, it left the entire panel speechless. So much so that even the audience didn't dare to clap.
Israel 5 times, they've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
Just look at how Whoopi and Joy sat there in complete shock, as if they couldn't believe what they were hearing. What they're missing is that Bill Maher is making a valid point. It's not about left or right. He's simply laying out the right way to stop war. But if you listen closely, Maher doesn't hold back in pointing out that their administration is to blame for escalating the conflict instead of working to end it. And yet, they have no problem criticizing Trump when he pushes for peace. Now, take a moment to hear Maher's unfiltered thoughts on free speech.
Last week, Ira Glasser, former longtime head of the ACLU, talking about free speech. Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Not every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a cancellation.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but
It's
isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
There
is one view.
Right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct.
Yes, they took the wrong stance. If anything, they should have been the ones seated in the corner. But this is a hard truth for the left to swallow because, in their world, the only acceptable opinion is their own, one they relentlessly push on their echo chamber shows. People have different perspectives, and healthy debate is one thing. But on The View, that's simply not tolerated. Bill Maher called out Whoopi for being wrong on a key issue, but unlike them, he never suggested she should be silenced or sidelined, just held accountable.
Have a very different opinion. And the answer is not to make them sit in a corner for 2 weeks. That is insulting. It's so insulting to make a 65-year-old, I mean, the person at ABC News said, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. Reflect. How insulting for someone of her age, who's a sophisticated person, and the impact of her comment. There is no impact. There aren't neo-Nazis waiting for the green light from the lady on The View to go out and do a new crystal knot.
So right. And the whole point of free speech is we don't need free speech when we're right, when everyone agrees with us. We need free speech when we're wrong. We need free speech to make mistakes. We need free speech to say really unpopular things. And one of the reasons I'm always proud to come on this show, and I suspect you feel the same way, Catherine, is this is the only space left on television where people can speak freely and not be terrified, right? And you have,
The big interruption is happening again. But have you noticed how you can't even acknowledge a valid point if it comes from a different perspective? For those who don't know, this was a key argument originally raised by Bill Maher. What do you think about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.